Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise, get you the key insights fast.
Glad to be here.
Today, we're looking at something pretty unique, the Hebrew month of Av, pronounced Av, specifically for the year 5785. And it's kind of a paradox, isn't it? You hear Av, and historically, it's linked to destruction, sorrow.
Deep sorrow, absolutely.
Well,
the temples.
Right. But the material we're diving into today, it reframes Av, sees it as a time for grace, rebuilding, divine alignment. It's quite a shift.
It really is. And that's our mission today, basically. We're unpacking insights from this devotional journal, AV 5785 month.
Okay.
And it blends what you might call public kingdom teaching, sort of, how God's heavenly rule impacts daily life with prophetic revelation. Specific insights, believed to be timely for right now.
Got it. Prophetic revelation.
Yeah. And the devotional itself has daily focuses, scriptures, prophetic points, and these really interesting takes on celestial and tribal alignments. The whole point is to show you how even tough seasons, times of grief or pressure, can actually reposition you spiritually, help you find purpose.
So understanding the significance, even when it looks bleak.
Exactly. Finding the hidden meaning.
Okay, so this devotional kicks off with something foundational. God's calendar. It calls it lunar-sided, based on signs in the heavens, not, man-made systems. It mentions Psalm 104.19. He made the moon to mark the seasons. Why is this lunar-sided thing so important right at the start?
That's a great question, because it's a fundamental difference. Most mainstream Jewish communities today use the Hillel second calendar.
Right, I've heard of that.
It's pre-calculated, a mathematical cycle set up way back in the 4th century. It doesn't necessarily wait for the actual new moon to be visible.
Oh.
But this lunar-sided approach, the one this devotional uses, suggests God's specific timing.
Yeah.
His Kairos moments are actually signaled in the heavens. It's about aligning your life with maybe a deeper rhythm.
A divine rhythm.
Yes, to potentially unlock timing for healing, for deliverance, for prophetic seasons.
Yeah.
Things that just aren't on a standard calculated calendar. It's like tuning into a different frequency.
Okay, that makes sense. So if we're on this lunar-sided clock, Av 5785 runs from August 1st to August 29th, 2025, a 29-day month.
Correct.
And the whole Hebrew year, 5785, is labeled the year of grace, inheritance, and kingdom government. And also, this caught my eye, the year of the voice, Peh, that letter, Peh. What's the significance there?
Peh. Yeah, it's the Hebrew letter for mouth or voice. So calling 5785 the year of the voice puts a big spiritual spotlight on what we say, and maybe even more importantly, what we listen to.
Okay, declaration, but also discernment.
Exactly. Whose report are you believing? This ties right into Av. Historically, like we said, Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, is heavy. Destruction of both temples.
Yeah, a day of mourning.
But this devotional flips the script. Through the lens of grace, it says, Av is where ruins become altars, where grief gives way to glory.
Wow.
The message isn't about dwelling on the pain. It's about actively rebuilding, but by the Spirit, rooted in your identity as a child of the kingdom.
So it sets up a kind of flow for the month.
It does. A threefold flow, really, for you. First, heal from broken foundations. Second, hear from the Spirit of grace. And third, honor your spiritual assignment.
Heal, hear, honor. Okay, that's a powerful framework, shifting from sorrow. Let's zoom out then to the macro view, the celestial and tribal stuff that frames the month. The constellation is Leo, the lion.
The Lion of the Judah.
Yeshua.
Right. Immediately brings up authority, royalty, boldness under pressure. What's the core declaration for us there?
It's a powerful one. You rule with Christ not by law, but by grace and adoption. It's affirming that royal identity in him.
Okay. Not earning it, but receiving it. Exactly. And the planets mentioned. The sun and Mercury, they reinforce this. The sun's brilliance, that's glory. Mercury's communication. So the insight is, heaven is speaking clearly.
So pay attention.
Yes. And it implies your words have weight this season. It's a time for you to speak what God is saying. Align your words with healing, with hope, and consciously, silence fear, silence the flesh.
Interesting. Then there's the Hebrew letter for Oditet, and it's got this duality you mentioned.
It really does. On one side, it symbolizes the womb, birth, potential, hidden goodness, like something incubating.
Okay.
But the other side can represent the serpent conflict, spiritual warfare, the things that test us.
So potential and pressure together.
Precisely. The devotional puts it like this. Every promise must pass through pressure. It forces a choice between operating out of fear or operating out of faith.
So how do you navigate that tension? That's the big question, right? When the pressure's on.
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And it leads right into the tribe of the month, Simeon. because Simeon means to hear.
Ah, linking back to the year of the voice.
Exactly.
Mm.
It stresses how vital it is to listen carefully to the Spirit, to tune out the static, the doubt, the striving, the religious noise, and respond from intimacy with God, not from insecurity.
And Simeon's history wasn't perfect, right?
Well, marked by impulsiveness.
Mm.
But the message here is grace transforms that. You're called to hear and obey based on what God reveals, not just gut reactions or old patterns. Choosing the right voice amid the pressure.
Okay, that macro view sets the stage. Let's zoom in now. The micro view, those aha moments on specific days, starting right at the beginning, day 1, Ave 1, aligning with the Father from morning to majesty. And the word Av itself means Father in Hebrew. So this first day is like an immediate invitation into alignment with God's heart, his voice, his timing.
Absolutely. It connects straight back to Peh, the year of the voice. It forces that choice on day 1. Whose voice are you going to follow this month? Think about the spies in Numbers.
Right, the 12 spies.
10 came back speaking fear, speaking death over the promise. Only 2, Joshua and Caleb, spoke destiny. They believed God's report.
A different spirit.
A different spirit, exactly. And day 1 emphasizes the number 1. New month, new mercy, the first roar of a new season, a divine realignment. For you, it's basically an invitation. Run to the Father, roar with Judah. The tribe of praise, don't stay stuck in the rubble of yesterday.
That's a strong start. And it flows right into day 2, Av 2. The power of perception. What you see.
Yes. This really focuses on how your perception becomes the breeding ground for either faith or fear.
Back to the spies again.
Back to the spies. Numbers 13. 10 saw giants and obstacles fear. 2 saw the same giants but saw opportunity faith. What was the real difference?
Good question. What was it?
The devotional says it wasn't just sight, it was vision. Sight sees the facts. Yeah, there are giants. Vision sees the truth behind the facts.
Which was?
That the giants were bread for them, sustenance for the journey. They saw challenges not as roadblocks, but as the very things God would use to strengthen them.
Wow, that's a perspective shift. Giants is bread.
Huge shift. It means your perception isn't just passive observation. It's prophetic. It shapes your reality. And the message is, heaven wants to adjust your lens.
So the actionable thing for you listening is?
Examine what you're magnifying. Is it the fear, the obstacle, or the promise, the potential? You need to actively reframe your report, your inner narrative, and guard your heart and mind from negativity.
Guard your gates. Okay, now let's jump forward a bit to a really significant day. Day 9, Av 9, Tisha B'Av. Beauty from ashes, rebuilding after ruin.
This is the heavy one, historically.
Right, the destruction of both temples. A day of deep Jewish mourning and fasting.
Absolutely. But here's where this devotional's perspective is, I think, really powerful. It doesn't dismiss the sorrow, but it reframes the day. It's not about just reliving the ruin.
It's
presented as a divine invitation to prophesy rebuilding over the ruins. The idea is that the very place of your deepest loss can become an altar of greatest glory, a place for a fresh encounter.
So transforming the meaning of the place and the day.
Exactly. Tradition involves reading Lamentations, fasting, but the Christian perspective offered here is about fasting with hope, not despair.
Okay.
And there's a fascinating tradition that the Messiah is said to be born on Tisha B'Av, redemption emerging right from the ashes.
That's powerful symbolism.
It frames it as a Nehemiah moment. Nehemiah saw the burned stones of Jerusalem's walls, but believed rebuilding was possible.
Right. He saw potential where others saw only destruction.
So, for you listening, the insight is, acknowledge your own personal ashes, whatever they represent, but don't stop there. Prophesy rebuilding over them. Speak life and rest in the hope that's available, even on a day with such a solemn history.
Okay. From ashes to hope. Now let's shift gears again. Mid-month, day 15, Av 15, love restored, the day of divine union, to be Av.
Yes. This one falls on the full moon. Think fullness, clarity, light shining brightly. It's often called the Hebrew Valentine's Day.
Right. A day of joy and matchmaking historically.
It was. But the devotional points to a deeper spiritual meaning. It's about restoring covenant, reconciling relationships, and getting a fresh revelation of God's love.
Beyond just romance.
Way beyond. The number 15 in Hebrew is Yod-He, which spells Yah, a covenant name of God. So it signifies an invitation into intimate partnership with Him.
Ah, connecting the number to God's name.
Yeah. And historically, you had things like the daughters dancing in white vineyards, the lifting of bans on intertribal marriage reconciliation again, and the start of the grape harvest. new wine, new joy, communion.
So practical application for you today.
Spiritually dress in white, meaning purify your heart, let go of offenses, pray over your key relationships, restoration, reconciliation, and maybe consider taking communion, intentionally re-entering that love covenant with Jesus.
Focusing on love and restoration. Okay, as Av winds down, we hit day 25, Av 25, when the new moon is hidden, faith before visibility.
This is the astronomical new moon, 0% illumination.
Wow.
Darkness. But it's presented as a sacred prophetic pause.
A pause.
It's about trusting what's already started in the spirit, even when you can't see it yet in the natural. Faith in the unseen.
Like something's happening below the surface.
Exactly. The devotional calls it a pregnant pause. A time to honor what God conceived in you during Av before the energy shifts into the next month, Elul.
So it's about walking by faith, not by sight, like 2 Corinthians 5:7 says.
Precisely. Think of a seed buried in the ground. It's active, it's growing, but totally hidden for a while.
Okay, so for you listening, the action is?
Take a deliberate pause. Worship. Review what God started in you or showed you during Av, and then speak into the darkness. Declare what you believe is coming, even before you see proof. Trust the unseen work.
Trusting in the dark. Okay. And finally, the last day, day 29, Av 29. Crown to continue.
This isn't an end point. It's the first quarter moon, actually halfway to full, so it's a turning point, a gateway.
Not a finish line, but a launch pad.
Exactly. It emphasizes that everything you walk through in Av, the grief, the growth, the obedience, the healing, it was all preparation. It wasn't wasted.
So what does crown to continue mean, practically?
It means God has sealed the month's work with his grace and glory. You're equipped. It connects to Psalm 65:11. You crown the year with your bounty. Your paths drip with abundance.
Okay.
So for you, it's about acknowledging the refining fire you went through, the rebuilding you started, the hearing you practiced, and then embracing this day as that launch pad into Elul, the next month. You're ready for what's next.
That's a great way to frame the end of the month. So we've tracked these key moments in Av. How does this whole journey set us up for what follows? Let's talk about that bridge from Av to Elul.
Right. The devotional describes this transition as profound, moving from ruins to revelation.
From ruins to revelation. I like that.
Av was the proving ground, maybe the place of testing and pressure. Elul is presented as the meeting ground.
Proving ground to meeting ground. Explain that.
Well, there's a beautiful concept associated with Elul. The king is in the field. It comes from the Song of Songs.
The king is in the field.
Yeah, the imagery is that God, the king, leaves his heavenly palace and comes out into your everyday life, your field, to meet with you face to face. It implies accessibility, intimacy.
Wow, that's a shift from the intensity of Av.
Huge shift. It's moving from grieving to gathering, from enduring pressure to encountering presence, from rebuilding the altars like an Av to actually walking with the one who answers by fire.
So Elul marks the start of something new.
It does. Rosh Chodesh Elul, the new moon, kicks off a 40-day period leading up to Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. It's traditionally a time of deep reflection, repentance, getting your heart right, specifically because the king is nearby. Accessible.
So it's about kingdom maturity.
I think so. Av required obedience through pressure. Elul invites proximity through peace. It's a different kind of engagement.
Okay, so wrapping this up, we've journeyed through Av 5785. We've seen how this month, historically marked by destruction, can actually teach you to turn grief into glory, turn ruins into rebuilding sites.
And how faith lets you see God's purpose even in really tough, unexpected places.
And this deep dive, hopefully, gives you listening a kind of shortcut to understanding how aligning with God's timing, his perspective, can genuinely redefine how you experience challenges.
Yeah, it prepares you for new beginnings, really, regardless of your background or where you are spiritually. It's about getting that spiritual clarity and finding practical steps for your own life.
Which brings us to a final thought, maybe a question for you to ponder. If Av teaches that even historical devastation can become a doorway to divine intimacy, what ruins in your own life right now might actually be places God is preparing them to become altars of encounter where the king himself steps into your field.
That's a powerful question.
Yeah.
What does it look like to move from that place of battle and pressure into a season of communion, to really embody that different spirit, like Caleb and Joshua, who saw promise where others only saw problems?
Something to definitely think about.